Hi, this is Bob Gersh with East Coast Capital, and today's topic: do elections impact the housing market? Do elections impact the housing market? The 2024 presidential election is just months away. As someone who's thinking about potentially buying or selling a home, you're probably curious about what effect, if any, elections have on the housing market. It's a great question because buying or selling a home is a major decision, and it's natural to wonder how such a major element might impact your plans. Historically, presidential elections have only had a small temporary impact on the housing market. Here's the latest on exactly what's happening to home sales prices and mortgage rates throughout those time periods. Home sales. During the month of November, in years when the presidential election took place, there's typically a slight slowdown in home sales, as Ali Wolf, chief economist at Zonda, explains. Usually, home sales are unchanged compared to a non-election year, with the exception being November. In an election year, November is slower than normal. This is mostly because some people feel uncertain and hesitant about making big decisions during such a pivotal time. However, it's important to know the slowdown is temporary. Historically, home sales bounce back in December and continue to rise the following year. In fact, data from the Department of Housing and Urban Development and the National Association of Realtors shows after 9 of the last 11 presidential elections, home sales went up the next year. See the graph posted on my blog at sbobgersh.com. The graph shows annual home sales going back to 1978. Each year with a presidential election is noted in blue. The year immediately after each election is green if existing home sales rose that year. The two orange bars represent the only years when home sales decreased after an election. Home prices. What about home prices? Do they drop during election years? Not typically. As residential appraiser and housing analyst Ryan Lindquist puts it, an election year doesn't alter the price trend that is already happening in the market. Home prices are pretty resilient. They generally rise year over year, regardless of elections. The latest data from the National Association of Realtors shows after 7 of the last 8 presidential elections, home prices increased the following year. See the graph posted on my blog at sbobgersh.com. Just like the previous graph, this shows election years in blue. The only year when prices declined after an election is in orange. That was during the housing market crash, which was far from a typical year. Today's market is different than it was back then. All the green bars represent when prices rose the following year. So if you're worried about your home losing value because of an election, you can rest easy knowing price rise after most presidential elections. Mortgage rates. Mortgage rates are important because they affect how much your monthly payment will be when you buy a home. Looking at the last 11 presidential election years, data from Freddie Mac shows mortgage rates decreased from July to November in 8 of them. See the chart posted on my blog at sbobgersh.com. Most forecasts expect mortgage rates to ease slightly throughout the remainder of the year. If they're right, this year will follow the trend of declining rates leading up to most previous elections. And if you're looking to buy a home in the coming months, this could be good news, as lower rates could mean a lower monthly payment. What this means for you. So what's the big takeaway? Well, presidential elections do have some impact on the housing market. The effects are usually small and temporary. As Lisa Sturdivant, chief economist at Bright MLS, says, historically, the housing market doesn't tend to look very different in presidential election years compared to other years. For most buyers and sellers, elections don't have a major impact on their plans. The bottom line. While it's natural to feel a bit uncertain during election year, history shows the housing market remains strong and resilient. For help navigating the market, election year or not, let's connect. This is Bob Gersh with East Coast Capital. This blog, video, and podcast Monday through Friday at AskBobGersh.com. Any questions, reach out to me through AskBobGersh.com. If you do see me in a local coffee shop, tap me in the shoulder. Let's sit down, have coffee, and talk about whatever you like to talk about. If I can be any assistance to anyone, just reach out to AskBobGersh.com. If you like what you just heard, please subscribe to our site. We'd really appreciate that. And if you have a listing you're looking to place on national TV, or looking at what the listings are in your area on our TV channel, call us at 781-454-7138, and we'll provide all the details regarding MoveTube, the TV channel. Have a great rest of the day, great rest of the week. Enjoy life. If we can be of any service to anyone, reach out through AskBobGersh.com. Until next time, thank you.